My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to the Bazaar. It's time to continue playing Dooley. Look, I see what's going on here. I see that there's two kinds of Vanessa that I run into. There's like 4 or 5 different kinds of Dooley. And there's exactly one Pygmalion. I see what's going on here. It is a good time for me to be learning Dooley. Is what I'll say about that. Weaponized core. I do want to run you and use you appropriately at some point. Deal 10 damage. Every 6 seconds, that is. And give weapons to the right of this plus 5 damage for the fight. Armored core, I'm also really interested in. Getting like a good spiked shield slash force field build going on. And critical core for critting. I'm going to take the weaponized core. And I'll visit Andy. Show me what you got, buddy. Memory card. When you sell this, the core gains damage equal to this item's value. And that happens every 10 seconds. There's also coolant every 6 seconds. Freeze an item for a second. Cleanse half your burn. And the bomb squad. When you use an adjacent friend, charges 2 seconds. I really want something that has a damage stat on it. So I'm going to roll. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. We find Alpha Ray. Every 5 seconds, deal 5 damage. When you use the core or another ray, your weapons gain 3 damage for the fight.
Remember, diamonds come in small boxes.
So, weaponized core, buffing up the Alpha Ray, both by its own ability and the Alpha Ray's ability, and then the memory card gets sold at some point, both for value as well as buffing up the weaponized core's damage. So, where do I want to go with this? I'm obviously not a burn damage build. That said, I could beat Pyro with literally nothing but the memory card on board, so that would give the memory card the largest amount of time to grow. Just very quickly, Fanged Inglet. You have Fangs, they have a 4% crit chance. Would I play a Fang? Cooldown 4 seconds to deal 5 damage on a weapon. That's not that bad. It's not good. But I could field that, certainly. I think... So the Fanged Inglet has 150 health. And there's 30 seconds before the sandstorm appears. They attack twice every 4 seconds for 5 damage apiece. Okay, we can figure this out. So that's 7 times they'll attack, 28 seconds. The 7 times that they attack is doubled because there's 2 fangs, giving them 14 attacks. 14 attacks of 5 damage apiece is 70. Which doesn't even account for the difference in our health from one another. If they crit on, 14, a reasonable assumption would be that they will crit on one of those hits. Obviously, that's only another 5 damage. Not a problem. What I'm saying here is I think I go for the Fanged Inglet, but I think I take the Weaponized Core off of the field because I don't think I need it there. I think the Alpha Ray can stay on the field, but it doesn't have to. You know what? No, I believe it. I believe. Because then in... okay, how much further could it go? How many times could they attack and crit? Worst case scenario, they need 20 attacks worth of damage, which means half of their attacks, 50% of their attacks, would need to crit to get to that point. Nope, I'm very confident that I can take this out with just the memory card on board. Oh, it's nice to be very confident in something. I've always wondered what it's like. Look at that value. Boom. I get all the money. I get all the charges on my memory card, and I even get a fang, which might legitimately be a useful weapon here for us. Alia sells weapons. I gotta say, I could buy a weapon right now. I don't need to, but I could. Treasure chest versus Pip. Sells bronze tier skills. I'm gonna go look at the weapon.
Spar with you, but this leg. Oof.
They have Chris Army Knife, a friend, a weapon, and a tool. Every 5 seconds deals 5 damage, and shields for 5. There's also the laser pistol, every 5 seconds deals 10 damage, and Race Call. When you haste, charges 2 seconds. Having Chris Army Knife is good, but realistically, having Chris Army Knife is good because it's not only a small item, but it's a friend, a weapon, and a tool, so it covers a lot of items that you might want to have access to for synergies. But I think in this build, we're probably looking for, like, Miss Isles or cybersecurity to be our only friend on board. Is it worth rolling? Laser pistol is just a worse Fang. We have better scaling, so we want Fang to attack more commonly rather than do more damage initially. Race car, we have no haste on board. I feel like rolling is a bad idea, which is why I'm very sad that I did it. Tesla coil. When you use an adjacent item, charge this 2 seconds. I'm gonna sell my memory card and take a Tesla coil.
Stillness. I prefer action.
There is also the Uzi here. Every 2 seconds, deal 2 damage. That's a very common attacker. But it only has 12 ammo, so it will run out. JJ sells items, Fortis sells shield skills, but I'm going to take the free haste item on offer, which is first aid, and nothing wrong with that guy. Every 3 seconds, he endeavors to heal us for 10 and haste an item for a second. Alright, Leaky 3. Basically, do you have the Jabalian longbow? Do you? That's not the Jabalian longbow. So they got a model ship between a yo-yo and a hatchet. Yo-yo is not charged. It doesn't have an adjacent item that has a trigger. Or, it doesn't have an adjacent item that has a cooldown, rather. Which means that they're going to get a meager amount of defense consistently, and I'm scaling my damage consistently as well. Yeah, we'll be taking this one. And after the next fight, we can even put a Tesla on board. Mountain Pass? So I do feel ahead, which is why Mountain Pass and the possibility of investing in income seems pretty appropriate to me right now. 2 gold for each tool you have, 2 sharpening stones for additional damage. Upgrade your leftmost bronze tier item for upgrading the weaponized core. Probably feels best here, I think. I will eventually want things on the left-hand side of the weaponized core that are like a nice defensive core of some kind. So that can run while I'm ramping up my damage, because my damage initially is not great, but it does get pretty good pretty quickly. Let's upgrade that leftmost item, making it get good quicklier. Pip sells bronze tier skills. I would have the ability to sell something and roll if I desperately needed to, but I think 50 max HP is probably a good deal for me right now. Rogue Scrapper. Actually, I think it's Tent City Mare for us. Augmented weaponry would be an incredible pickup. I mean, the giant mosquito, actually. Do you have any heat? Do you have any heat, buddy? It's got the proboscis. When you slow, deal 6 damage, and it's not hard to include slow into a Dooley build. There's literally an item that just says, when you use the core, slow, and also I slow on a cooldown. Giant mosquito also has the skill Rush. At the start of each fight, haste a weapon for 3 seconds. That'd be pretty good. They have Amber. None of that's bad. Tent City Mare, I only really care about the skill augmented weaponry. Your weapons have +1 damage. When you sell a small item, increase this bonus by 1 damage. And then Rogue Scrapper, I suspect, would actually be too much damage for me. Would it? No. No, it won't. It slows an item of mine at the start of the fight, sure. But I've got the silver scaling up. Within 2 uses of my core, I should start to flatten them. And here we are, second use of the core, starting to flatten. And fully flat. Barbed wire, every 4 seconds deal 5 damage. When you shield, this gains 5 damage for the fight. Not really the direction I want to go at the moment. And he sells small items. I'm going to go there. I'll happily take crypto. I'll only pay 2 for it, and I'll sell it when it sells for 4 or above.
Shall I gift wrap it for you?
Wallace, every 6 seconds gain 5 shield. This gains 5 shield for the bite. It doesn't feel like a truly appropriate part of a block core. It feels so slow. I want something that has initial impact on the board. Welcome back, Chris Army Knife.
Fire's remorse never. Be remorseless.
Chris and First Aiden, I guess, of both going on the left-hand side. I don't think there's ever a world where I can include Water Cooler in that as well. Even though I'd really love that max HP. Whatever. If I have to sell Water Cooler later, I've sold it for a -1. I can make up with that. I can gamble on crypto and make up for that. Lost Crate. This will extend my board before we go into the next fight. Very useful for us. 2 income right before we get to the trigger of day 3. Incredible. I'll happily take that. Now I have 9 income each day before the start of day 3. Let's get First Aiden down. And another weapon, realistically, is probably better than trying to scale with Water Cooler in this next fight. You're good off. What have you brought to the table, friend? Oh, you got a dog. Hell yeah. When you sell a small item, this gains 6 damage. You haven't sold many small items. You got a bunch of rays on the board. I say a bunch of rays. You've got a beta ray and an omega ray, as well as your companion core. They don't appear to be doing so bad. You are freezing my things for 2 seconds at a time, because the beta ray itself is upgraded. But the build doesn't take off fast enough to prevent me from just hitting you in the face. People are really going to need some anti-hitting you in the face tech. Snack time for 75 max HP at this point. Definitely important. Keen to sell non-weapon items. Aerodrome. I'm going to take the snack time. I want to know a little bit more about the items I'm going to be picking up. Small and large items, Midsworth. And that's up against the Lost Crate for another 2 gold and 1 experience. I do love 2 gold and 1 experience. Especially while I'm still expanding my board. 2 gold, 1 experience, thank you. Eccentric Etherite. I'm not going to have to worry about you, because the main problem of Eccentric Etherite is whether or not you can take down her shield before she hits you with it. But I've got scaling damage, so that's not going to be a problem for us. There's Rogue Scrapper, again, just in case I wanted to go back and get another barbed wire. And then Dabbling Apprentice, who is really not that relevant to us.
Oh, we haven't started yet?
Of course, I would love to pick up Rigged at the start of each fight. Haste 2 items for 3 seconds. One of the best early game skills you can pick up. But I'm not going to be that sad not to get it. Because I'm not going to get it. I'm going to fool it into a false sense of security where it thinks that I don't think that I'm going to get it. And then the game will give it to me out of pity.
But the bazaar will go dark without me.
Whoops. Guess it's nighttime. Dang. What? Okay, I guess no matter who I go to, I'm getting the barbed wire. Increases its base damage, and now it scales more as well. I mean, I want to have 11 income right now. Core cooldown is reduced by 5% is the other option here that really appeals, but I think I'm going for the income. Give me 11 income. Eating contest. We're early enough, and I have enough income that I think the correct choice here is give me 150 max HP, please. In lieu of the fact that I do not have defense, I will simply be extremely aggressive and have enough HP to survive my enemy in the meantime. Anti-sell small items. There's a lot of upgrade opportunities in here.
Is highly concentrated.
There's the memory card. Nothing wrong with the memory card. Omega Ray. When you use the core or another ray, your burn items gain 2 burn for the fight. I don't think that goes on this field. As much as I do want other rays, because they'll use the same buff as the alpha ray does, ultimately I think that will become too laborious to build, and the alpha ray will be cut out, and I'll just be focusing on the weaponized core. So I don't really want to sell up for a different future. Memory card, though? I could just have 2 characters over on the left-hand side who are constantly trying to give me benefits. I could take that.
Tell everyone you got it here.
Oh, okay, first off, first aid, and yeah, I'm just going to upgrade you. I'll take 20 HP, and sure, hastening an item for 2 seconds, great. Soldering gun. Soldering gun, as I would say, but I think the Americans call this a soldering gun. Every 5 seconds, burn for 1. This has +1 multicast if it's adjacent to a friend, and +1 multicast if it's adjacent to a tool. I don't think Walter Cooler ever gets to stay on this board. I'm going to take that, actually, though.
Whoever said money can't buy class had neither.
So now we've got the soldering gun. Every 5 seconds, it is casting 3 times, which is charging the weaponized core a lot faster. Bomb Squad, when using adjacent friend, charge this 2 seconds. Could be between First Aiden and Chris Army Knife, and I wouldn't be too sad about that, but I think this is all we need for the moment. This soldering gun is actually just here to speed up the weaponized core. It's not really here for burn damage. Unfortunately, had I known I was about to find the soldering gun, I would have taken the Alpha Ray in the previous store. Alpha Ray? The Gamma Ray. No, Gamma's the poison one. Omega Ray. I would have taken the Omega Ray. Because that would have been really good damage. That said, like, growing my burn and then applying burn to an enemy, do I need to do that at the same time as I am attempting to grow my damage and then apply my damage to my enemy? Aren't those 2 different ways of trying to account for the same thing that are kind of stepping on one of another? King Tut.
My dreams are too big for you to steal.
Whoa. Weights, Kukri, Uwashi Wali, Succulents, and the Money Bird. I haven't seen a health Pygmalion in a billion years. They said it couldn't be done. My damage is scaling very, very dutifully. There's 2, but not necessarily at the same speed.
Well, I'll admit, that was impressive.
I'd love to upgrade the weaponized core again. Give me a upgrade silver as my next upgrade choice, please. The docks where I could work to earn some coin. I suspect I want to go to Kev's Armory and start looking for something in a block core over on this side. Especially if I could put, you know, that there, take First Aiden off the field. I know, blasphemy. But If I took first aid off the field and replaced that with duct tape, it's got a triple times activator on one side. That's great. Yikes. Armadillo, when you shield, charge this 2 seconds. I don't shield that much. Welding torch, when you have shield, this item's cooldown is reduced by 50%. Again. And welding helmet. Every 3 seconds, shield for 6 and burn for 1. This would be a really good burn build in a world where I had the gamma ray and maybe the burning core. But instead, unfortunately, that's just a huge whiff. All your cells weapons, and what I need are weapons.
Buy my weapons.
That's it.
And you might.
Pulse rifle. This has +1 multicast if it's adjacent to a friend. Double it if it's adjacent to your only friend. So the thing is, multicast on an attack
I fight alongside you.
is incredibly important for us. We can't really turn that down, especially because that pulse rifle can just go next to Chris Army Knife. So Chris is here, giving multicast 3 to the pulse rifle. The pulse rifle is next to the Tesla coil. So every time the pulse rifle casts, the Tesla coil is going to get 2 seconds off of its charge, making all of this trigger a lot faster at the cost of taking first aid and the soldering gun off the field. So the weaponized core is triggering significantly slower. If the damage I care about is only really coming from pulse rifle and Tesla coil, then I think the best play is to put barbed wire and alpha ray, the two that will very slowly scale their damage in comparison, over on the left so that they instead focus on scaling up the damage weaponized core is given to the ones that are actually doing damage. The pulse rifle, the Tesla coil, the weaponized core. I think I can take a roll here. Ooh, one of the best hits we could possibly get. I mean, rocket launcher. Not bad. Every 6 seconds, deal 10 damage, burn 2, has a multicast of 3. But at the moment, that's just a bad pulse rifle. It's a pulse rifle that takes 50% longer to fire. Alpha Ray, however, we have the upgrade for, giving it 5 additional damage for a total of 10. But more importantly, when you use the core or another ray, your weapons now gain 6 damage for the fight. And finally, there's also Power Drill here. When you haste, slow, freeze, burn, or poison, charge this by a second. Not really what we're looking to do. Retiree. You are heavily focused around healing, which I am not. Outlands Dervish. Flame Juggler? Flame Juggler is just going to do a bunch of damage instantaneously. That's the big thing, right? I just need to survive that. Outlands Dervish could give us Clockwork Blades for reducing the cooldown of our items by 2%. Bar of Gold, which we could sell for some decent money. I'm worried I might not beat the Flame Juggler. Maybe that's an errant concern here. Yeah, I got a lot of additional HP. So the Flame Juggler is going to immediately give me 40 burn, and that's a lot of burn. Oh god, it's too much. Yeah, it's way too much. Damn it. Damn it! Oh, I was so cocky. Well, more than ever, I feel the case has been made that I need as much max HP as possible. 3 silver tier chocolate bars is 60 health. No, I'm still gonna pay the full 10 there for 150. I'll take regeneration equal to my level and I'll be happy about it. Good thing I have such a high income, otherwise I would be really feeling tough here. Leftmost item gains 3 value. Escalation protocol, your core's cooldown is reduced. 2 sharpening stones. I'm gonna get the core's cooldown reduced. I'm going to leave memory card on the field. I don't think if I instead field Fang, it will make the difference. I feel like I'm either winning or losing this one, and I might as well get a little bit of value out of the... winning or losing this one regardless. And that, I might as well get a little bit of value out of my memory card along the way. Oh boy, yeah, see, they've got a field where their damage is scaling, but it's already also scaled, which is novel. Thankfully, I elected to get a lot of max HP, which, as it turned out, won me the fight. Sick. Midsworth sells small and large items. I have a lot of mid items that I'd really like to upgrade. But I suppose I'll go to you because I don't want to go to the aerodrome. You can travel almost anywhere. You know what? Let's give you a chance. All you sells weapons. Sure, I don't need to roll again.
I'm finished with fighting, but I can help you finish a fight.
There's a power drill. We've seen before. A force field as well. Armadillo again. I'll take my roll here. Ah, there we go. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for. Clarence! No, I'm kidding. Clarence, I love you, but not for this run. Alpha Ray, we get the upgrade, taking it to 9 damage scaling. And then we also get the upgrade on the pulse rifle, giving it 10 additional base damage. That was a pretty huge hit. Get a small non-weapon item, we'll go to Curio. I'm gonna go to the mountain pass, actually. Do I escort the convoy? I could possibly get an experience. That's like a washout kind of thing. I could possibly fight someone, that could be fun. I feel like I could sell my Fang and gain the income as well. Which, you know what? I'll do it. Gimme. Preening Duelist is far too focused on... Actually, Preening Duelist has a skill which would be interesting. It's a lot of the items on board are focused around ammo, but the skill is all talk. While you have more than half health, your weapons have plus 25 damage. So that would really help out my scaling in the early. I could see that being very valuable to me. The mod squad has a silver Chris Army knife, which could be a really good way to upgrade mine. The Hercuvian Rocket Trooper. Shadowed Cloak is pretty good here. Shadowed Cloak, when you use the item to the right of this, haste it for 3 seconds. Also, if it's a weapon, give it 7 damage for the fight. If I put that next to the weaponized core is perma-hasted. Suddenly it's activating every 3 seconds, and I've only had to take, you know, barbed wire and the memory card off field. Do I have anything with a haste on it basic? No, not yet, but eventually I'll get something that has some sort of amount of haste on it. Mod Squad could give me a lot of money as well, is the thing, because Mod Squad has golden crypto, which sets its value between 0 and 20, and I do need money. There's also just a lot of misses in Mod Squad. But there's more misses in the other characters, I think. Alright. I think I finally actually have to settle this and move forwards. Sadly. I think I'm going for the Mod Squad. I've got to remember, Chris Army Knife can be replaced. The pulse rifle just needs to be adjacent to my only friend. That friend doesn't have to be a weapon and a tool as well. But Big Bill Dozer is not going to be it. When you use another friend, this gains 10 damage for the fight. Your other friend's cooldowns are reduced by 10%. Not really where we're looking. Ooh, okay, Goldie sells gold tier items. Nice, sure, whatever. But Deadly Duel will give me the opportunity to fight another monster, giving me the opportunity to get more experience. And Preening Duelist Give me all talk. Give me the skill all talk. I desperately need it. We downgrade the damage of the enemy significantly by getting him past half HP, and then we take him out. Come on, give me that skill. I want that skill. Throwing knives. When you crit, charge this for a second. We don't really do that here. Oh boy. These are some tough pickups. Forage, get 3 citrus or coconut. I think they're silver at this point. I'm not certain. Cinders, get 2 cinders for additional burn. Your burn items have cooldown reduced, get 2 gold. I think I'm going to go for the friend, because I could still get a friend that could replace Chris happily. It's not going to be race car, I'll tell you that much. When you haste, charge this 2 seconds. Eventually, I might get something that makes race car a good choice instead, but that hasn't happened yet. I'll hold him in inventory for a while. Oh, Alia's up against Slow-Mo Lumbra. I like Slow-Mo. I like actually getting the opportunity to slow my enemies down. But also, because Chris has to be adjacent to the pulse rifle and the pulse rifle has to be adjacent to the Tesla coil, it's not like I can have, lefty-loosey? No, righty-tighty I think it is. Which is, whenever you use your rightmost item, slow an enemy item for a second. That would be one of my biggest hits in Slow-Mo Lumbra, and it's kind of not available here for us. Alright. Alia, show me what you got. Really? Big Bulldozer is here right next to Clarence. I don't think that's the build. Is it though? If I had something that allowed me to haste my other, like if I had the friends call, obviously full pivot towards Bulldozer. When you use another friend, this gains 10 upgrades to 20 damage for the fight. Your other friend's cooldowns reduced by 20%. And then Clarence would probably join them. The thing is, this is a build that is capable of only scaling its damage. So does it scale its damage significantly better than what we're currently doing and fire more often than what we're currently doing? I believe the answer to that to be no. Even with the 20% cooldown reduction, unless I also had a haste enabler like DJ Robot, and even then DJ Robot's cooldown is kind of prohibitively expensive at 10 seconds. I really don't think I can do that without the companion core. I'm gonna roll past. There's also a laser pistol in Clarence. Do I take a speculative upgrade on race car? See, thing is, hear me out. It's a weapon. It's a friend. And if I do get some haste in this build, suddenly it attacks so quickly. I'm gonna take it. That's a supreme speculative take there. The other one was given to me for free. This one I paid for. Alright, let's leave this encounter. And encounter an enemy. Air. What are you up to, Ed? What's your build like? Ooh, hotspot. When you use the leftmost item, burn 2. And your leftmost item is missiles. I really want missiles on my board. When you use the core, reload this, and it is every 3 seconds, deal 20 damage, multicast 2. Ooh, we lost. Admittedly, we were pretty close to winning, but that burn was pretty overwhelming, yeah. Wholesales large items, the docks. I'm gonna go to the docks and work for a weapon. 2 gold as well. Plasma rifle. Every 8 seconds, deal 50 damage. When you burn, this gains 25 damage for the fight. Not really what we're looking for. Let's go get gumballs, maybe. Yeah, gumballs is some crit chance. Gumballs is some max HP. Gumballs is possibly some damage for the entire field. I would love to see that. Ooh. We get 4 damage for the entire field. As well as 2% crit chance and 2 additional shielding on just Chris Army Knife. Another 2% crit chance globally. Love it. I don't think we can take out the Lich fast enough. So I'm going to go for the Foreman instead. There's a silver Chris Army Knife there. Oh my god, pulse rifle's in the wrong position. I lost the last battle because of it. Oh, I was trying to show that it wouldn't work and then I did the thing instead. Whoops. Alas, it happens. I'm sad that it happened though. Let's get the core cooldown reduced by another 5%. And he sells small items, and there's a lot of small items I'd love to see. But I still want that max HP. Small and large items, or small and medium. Small and medium, there's many more hits there for us, obviously courtesy of having access to the mediums. Flamethrower, every 6 seconds, deal 2 damage. Burn equal to 1 times this item's damage, which implies that the golden tier of this is 2 times this item's damage. That's not a bad way to join a damage build and a burn build. Let's have a look at Flamethrower. It's not 3 times on its top. Yeah, no, it's 2 times. 2 times. By the time Flamethrower goes off, it's been given 10 damage. Which gives it another 9 as well from the Alpha Ray. It's certainly a lot more damage than Tesla Coil's putting out on the field at the moment. Is anything more important than that? Or do I just take it because it's so much better than Tesla Coil right now that it should just be fielded?
So I can buy things. Huge things.
I'm gonna sell the memory card so that I can roll here. Nah, I was really hoping for something that I would want to use. Battery every 4 seconds, charge the item to the left of this by 2 seconds. Instead of putting that out on the field, I'm going to put the Power Sander in between the Chris Army Knife and the Flamethrower, just to give the Flamethrower more damage, which will give it more burn, as well as the Chris Army Knife a little bit of defensive scaling. Subpar Peanut. Let's see if the build is subpar too.
You, but if you insist.
Oh dear, Ritual Dagger every 4 seconds dealing 54 damage with lifesteal. You've got a Catfish here that is going to be gaining haste consistently, courtesy of the Toxic Water Wheel, which is poisoning us. Yikes. That's a lot of burn. There's a lot of poison that you have on me. I'm about to apply a lot more burn. But I think I lose this race, yeah. Oh boy. That was tough. Not how I wanted that to go. Paul sells large items. Vermeer, you sell crit skills. Please give me, your items have 50% less crit, but they gain 10% crit chance every time you use them. When you poison, your items gain 2% crit chance for the fight. No, your rightmost item has 10% crit chance. Your weapons have 4% crit chance is probably the choice here. Peace Fly. Your non-weapon items, never mind. I'm gonna go for the previous option before that. I want a more specific shop than JJ to spend my money at, especially because at this point when I'm buying gold items, I'm spending most of my money anytime I see something that I want. Submarine. Submarine! Every 3 seconds, deal 25 damage. Gain shield equal to this item's damage. Now I actually have a defensive scaling option. Honestly, I don't think Pulse Rifle needs to be in this build anymore. Okay. I don't have a friend on board. So obviously there's no value in running Pulse Rifle. And I only really care about the damage of these two being scaled. I mean, I could put, like, you know, Chris Army Knife there, and then a Power Sander between them, and then they both give additional bonuses. Just additional shielding, largely. But the submarine is triggering every 3 seconds. What I need is the weaponized core to trigger faster. So I'm going to do that, but on this side. With the goal of using the submarine scaling damage for my defense and the flamethrower scaling damage for my offense via burn. Shock Trooper can do a lot of damage very suddenly, so I'm actually kind of scared of him. So the Shock Trooper has... When you burn, your items gain 2% crit chance for the fight. That's not really what we want. Cosmic Rock. When you crit, haste an item for a second. That's pretty good. As well as the feathers for reducing the cooldown of the entire board by 6%. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way we're going. Alright, Cosmic Rock. Yeah, that one. That's what I'm saying! Three-second cooldown's nice. I like 3-second cooldown. Unfortunately, we get the claws. Every 4 seconds deal 10 damage. This deals double crit damage. Not really at all relevant. Your friends have their cooldowns reduced. Your burn items have their cooldowns reduced. It's only 3% each, and it would only affect Chris Army Knife or Flamethrower. Meditation for an experience, or the option we will be taking, not to put my thumb on the scale too hard, but also click. So it was more of my pointer finger, I guess. Oh, feather. Even though we didn't get it from the Cosmic Rock, we did get it overall. When you sell this, reduce your item's cooldowns by 6%. Rukon, you sell weapon skills. Please give me something good. Okay. So it could have been better, but it could have been worse. Heavy weaponry. Your large weapons deal 36 extra damage. That's 36 damage and 36 shield from every activation of the submarine. Yep.
You will not die. Makes Ryukon look bad.
Tox Clock sells haste, slow, and cooldown items, but I think I'm going to the Monster Ranch. There's these two gunpowders here, which I'll probably keep forever. Or at least until I find something worthy of them. Your leftmost shield item gets plus 12 shield and 2 experience from a vial of blood. Love that. Is this even gonna work? Okay, yeah, I can give the submarine even more shielding than it has attack. That makes a lot of sense. It should work like that. And I'm gonna take the 6% across the board cooldown. Reduzione. I can't see Race Car coming back out on this field at this point. All right, Mabel. You worm. You come to me and think you can beat my build? Well, very probably, with the sniper rifle firing every 7.2 seconds and with a 75% crit chance. That's a lot of my HP you just knocked out. Thankfully, I am getting some good shielding from this submarine. And the burn was enough to take out the enemy between their sniper rifle shots. Good, good, good. We are now in the position, I believe, where... Oh, no, tomorrow. Today, I could lose and I'll still be fine. Tomorrow will be bad. All right, Nufu. I hear you have something for me. Finesse shield. While your enemy has more health than you, your shield items have their cooldowns reduced by 10%. That's going to be relevant a lot of the time. The only thing is, there's so many other skills that are so much more relevant that I really need to roll. Your shield items have 60% crit chance. Ugh. The first time you fall below half health each fight, burn 10. Your rightmost burn item plus 6 burn. Okay, never mind. That got worse. Critical protector, I guess. Alright, Gumball. It's your time to shine. I'd happily take crit chance. Hell, I'd happily take pretty much all of the Gumballs. Shielding? Grand. Damage? Great. Health? Excellent. Crit chance? The best. Get a friend. 3 loot items. The 3 loot items... Ooh. Reconfigure. Your tools have their cooldowns reduced by 5%, which includes the flamethrower. However, I do think it's scavenger hunt. Yeah, insect wing. When you sell this, reduce your leftmost item's cooldown by 9%. I do want the submarine to be hitting constantly. That's nice. But I think the weaponized core actually charging the damage to the other things that are scaling off of that damage from it, probably more important. Eagle Talisman. Well, first off, let's get 12 shield additional on the submarine, and then also give it plus 15% to its crit chance. 28% crit chance over there. Ooh, I could see a world where maybe car conductor is a good idea here. Expert Pilot. Expert Pilot is a skill that has a cooldown. Your shield vehicles gain 30% shield, and your weapon vehicles gain 30% damage. Also, there's another ability, Command Ship. If you have a vehicle, reduce your non-vehicle items cooldowns by 5%. Unfortunately, the skills are probably the least relevant for us. They do have a captain's wheel, which could be relevant, actually. Then Burninator Bot is the other option. Burninator Bot has a flamethrower. There's a world where Burninator Bot upgrades my flamethrower for me. I think it's easier for me to upgrade my flamethrower than to find the skills that car. Okay, this probably doesn't have a cooldown. It's probably just mistyped on how Bazaar. Captain's Wheel would be nice when you use a vehicle or a large item, charges 2 seconds. Start using that to charge both the weaponized core and the submarine. Dang. Sirens. Slow an item for 2 seconds every 7 seconds, and when you slow, haste a vehicle for 2 seconds. I'll hold on to it, but it's probably not going to be relevant. Keep yourself non-weapon items. I'm going to go to the eating contest. Sell out Race Carl. And grab myself some premium top-tier chocolate bars. Tox Clock sells haste, cooldown, and slow items, but I'm going to go to Fortis, because shield skills are so relevant to me right now. When your enemy uses a weapon, your shield items gain 3 shield for the fight. Not bad. Your shield items have plus shield equal to double your level, so 18 apiece. Your shield items have additional crit chance. These aren't great. Most enemies don't pester you with a bunch of different weapons constantly going off. They hit you with one big one. I'm gonna just take heavy metal.
If you will shield can be its own kind of weapon.
Alright, Herba. Tools of the trade. If you use a tool gains haste for 2 seconds. Great. Great pick up there. They've got a lighter for a tool, a duct tape for a tool. No other tools on board. They do have a very active beta ray, so they're freezing a lot of my small items, but thankfully, it's my medium and large ones you really need to worry about. Their burn is scaling very high. The incendiary rounds is going off after the ignition core is pumping it. Thankfully, other than now that I don't have a win, it was the same for me to win or lose there. Like, I was always going to be on death's door every round after it. Curio sells bronze tier junk items. Cooldown reduction is basically one of the coolest things we can get, but 225 max HP. How do you turn that down? Middle sells medium items. There's only 2 that I care about right now. There's Flamethrower, Cryosphere, freeze all items, the core, Welding Helmet, and Micro Dave. Not that relevant. There's Brick Buddy. When using Chase a Friend, this gains 3 shield for the fight, the Atomic Clock, and Monitor Lizard. That's not going to be in our build. Upgrade the core. The other item is the other medium item, that is Flamethrower and Scrap Metal. The opportunity to upgrade the core with Scrap Metal. I'll just upgrade it straight with the optimization protocol, though. Elite Duelist, do you have anything I want to take from you? Yes, you have a big ego. Your weapons have lifesteal. You also have 2 copies of Butterfly Swords and a copy of Spices. Okay, fight me. If I get Spices, Spices says, cooldown 8 seconds, ammo max 1. Your weapons gain damage equal to your weakest weapon's damage for the fight. So suddenly, I can give that 5 max ammo, and it's just a slow multiplier that applies to all of my stuff. I'd probably want to take Flamethrower off the board so that Submarine gets double the amount of damage. It would replace these over here. It's got juice. It's got gas. Let's go to the Elite Duelist.
You must think very highly of yourself.
They also have this knife set over here. When you use a weapon, charge this for 2 seconds. We don't really fire weapons constantly anymore. Give me spices. Let me get spicy. I mean, Big Ego is the best hit, but give me spices. I'll settle for spices. I'll settle for the second best hit. Revolver. Every 3 seconds, deal 20 damage. Has a crit chance of 20%. When you crit, reload 2 ammo in this gun. Yeah, no thank you. It's not really what we're going to do. Andy sells small items, opportunity to upgrade our Alpha Ray, maybe even replace our Power Sander. I gotta say, there's, again, nothing wrong with going to the gumball machine right now.
If you have to ask the price, you can't afford it.
First Aiden is here. Every 3 seconds, they'd hasten an item for 3 seconds.
I think that
Chris Army Knife, I will upgrade you, just because with you and Power Sander kind of, you are both on the same field at the same time, and you will both go away at the same time. Remote control. Every 8 seconds, use the core.
buyer's remorse never. Be remorseless.
There we go. So every 8 seconds, it'll use the core, and then it'll also give 1 second of charge to the core, scaling our defense strategy. Also, an additional usage of the core triggers the Alpha Ray again, scaling even further. Woohoo! Hamlet also is a friend, a weapon, and a tool, so there is a later game friend weapon tool than Chris Army Knife for builds that care about something like that. Thrusters, not relevant. Fortis, you sell shield skills. I know Alia's there, I know Alia sells weapons, but Fortis, gimme sharp corners, gimme the core. Defensive stance. I'll take defensive defensive stance. When you use a weapon, your shield items gain +3 shield for the fight. Yes. There's also Electrified Hull. The first 5 times you shield each fight, charge an item a second. That's not that bad. Backup defense is the first time you fall below half health each fight. Shield equal to 20% of your max health. And I do want backups. I think I take defensive stance here. I think I just need to get it.
First principle of shield mastery. Always have one.
Alright, Himpernickel. Somehow I don't feel threatened. It might be the fact that you're on death's door. A burn build. It has really atrocious scaling. And it's trying to use Power Drill to do damage. I mean, Power Drill is scaling. Your burn is scaling as well. Do I lose? How'd that happen? When your enemy uses a... I, admittedly, was very cocky there because I thought there was no chance they were going to win. So it was just those 2 burn items scaling heavily enough. Woof. Alright. Let's visit a random enchantment location. The submarine being frozen there consistently a couple of times, I think. That's a problem. I don't want that to be frozen or slowed down. Definitely not destroyed. Keener sells non-weapon items. There's a couple of those I'm interested in.
Cast aside your destruments.
Cog. Haste an adjacent item for 3 seconds every 4 seconds. I think that's probably significantly better than keeping Chris Army Knife on the field.
Your aura guided me to what you needed.
Chem Snail when you slow. No thank you. Okay. Cog. I'm going to put you between remote control and the weaponized core. I need scaling to happen sooner. Sparring partner. Test your build against the sparring. I mean, like... that is kind of an ideal circumstance for me. But do I need money right now? That's really what's on offer there. Money. Just money. Midsworth sells small and large items. Obviously, we're not getting the upgrade for Radiant Submarine there. Alright, sparring partner.
Some friendly beating me up.
Let's see how well the Radiant Submarine can do by us. I feel like what I really need are like skills to tie it together, and I'm just not late enough in the game for that to be a real thing for me. This doesn't scale especially quick.
Sorry, sir.
Alright. Speaking of scaling especially quick, I'm going to upgrade the flamethrower to do twice as much damage. Twice as much burn, that is. Trash Titan. Trash Titan. Give me Juggler. Give me Juggler. Let me juggle and everything will be fine. Juggler, when you use a small item, charge a large item for a second. Radiant Submarine, getting a lot of juice out of that. Sounds like a build to me. The double burn is good. Catalyst, when you use the item to the left of this, haste the item to the right of this for 2 seconds. Orion sells tools. I'm gonna go to Alia, who sells
But
weapons,
safety?
though.
Oh, I do miss it.
Armadillo. There's the combat core. When you use any item to the left of this, give it 10 damage. Any item to the right gives it 10 shield. Ray Skull. Nope. Ooh. A big bad rocket launcher. Still significantly slower than flamethrower. Plasma rifle. Deal 200 damage. When you burn, this gains 75 damage for the fight. Rocket launcher. While your enemy has burn, this deals double damage, but it's every 6 seconds, deal 40 damage, burn 6 and multicast 3. So it sets 3 fires, you get 225, so you double the damage of the plasma rifle before it takes its first shot. It takes its first shot in 8 seconds. There's no defense. When this gains haste, this and the weapon to the left of this gain 5 damage for the fight, says Claw Arm. I don't think I can survive without the shield scaling of Radiant Submarine, and I don't think I can deal damage without the damage scaling of the Flamethrower, so taking the Claw Arm and using that to buff either of them terrifies me. Because that means what? Weaponized Core and Alpha Ray staying on the field, so I'm taking Cog and Remote Control off, then the Claw Arm is useless. So I gotta leave the Cog on, so I gotta take Alpha Ray off? I don't think I pivot to any of those. Catalyst. When you use the item to the left of this, haste the item to the right of this for 2 seconds. It's a bad metronome. Metronome would do it in both directions. Flamethrower being hasted would actually be really useful, though. I'm going to take the remote control off the field, and I'm going to put the catalyst between Flamethrower and the weaponized core. When I use the item to the left of this, the weaponized core, haste the item to the right of this, the Flamethrower, by 2 seconds. Also, Cog, every 4 seconds is hasting an adjacent item for 3 seconds. That could be the Ray, which is not good. I can replace that with the remote control. It activates half as quickly, but it immediately activates the core when it does. And then the core immediately activates the Alpha Ray. And then both of those give stacks of catalyst. Okay, I think this has probably gotten
I
better.
hope you live long enough to reconsider.
Whoa! Hard diss! I hope I live long enough to reconsider. Me too, I guess. Anti-sell small items. I'd love to hit the remote control or the Alpha Ray. Or metronome would be great.
Haggling. Ugh.
Lens. Give the core +5 damage for the fight. When this gains haste, charge it for a second. There's also a memory card and cool LEDs. I don't think I've got space for any of cool LEDs. There's also the Beta Ray, the Copper Red, the Soldering Gun. No, thank you on those accounts as well.
Junk. Go see Curio.
All right, love. What have you got? Because I got some scaling. Some scaling. Please? Please don't just have a beast of burden that has 2,000 damage and 100% crit and hit me in the face immediately. That would be bad for me. Okay, so it's not a beast of burden. It is a lion cane, though.
That was invigorating.
Oh, you have a deadly flamethrower as well. Oh, and that crit me. I see, I see. Ah, I'm a chump trying to do a scaling strategy. You should just have big weapons on the field immediately. I feel like if I had hit some better skills, I would be in a much better position, especially if I didn't have to hit so many critical protector, deadly eye, heavy weaponry, all of these like hard misses on skills that are actually assisting us. Not that heavy weaponry was bad, but like realistically what I needed was things to be faster later in the game. It might have been, I think it was definitely a mistake when I took defensive stance over weaponized hull. Weaponized hull being the first 5 times you use shield in a fight, charge an item for a second. Because realistically, the problem was not how large of an impact the submarine was going to have. It was how quickly it could have it. As the things that were starting to beat us were capable of taking most of our health away before we even got a single item to activate. That's it. Very middle of the road. We get ourselves a single chest. And we even have time at the end of this episode to open 10 of them. Gimme 10 chests. Cha-ching. Oh, I've got that one. I got the Pygmalion Bard. Alas. A lighter. A lighter. Oh, Ballista. You were so cool. I'm certain you can be again. Jabalian Drum. Oh, boy. Are you ever going to be cool? We'll see. Please. Please stop taking... Stop it. I need a different skin for Pygmalion. I'll accept what I have for the moment. All the way up to 1,295. I want to make sure that I have 2.5 for when they release a new character. I don't know anything about that. But I'm going to make sure that I have that in the bank to be ready for it. For the moment, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been the Bazaar. Top left is the series playlist for all my content of the game, past, present, future. YouTube recommendations are down below. Streaming past the names of the people so generously supporting the upload on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. And above the thank tier. And a special thanks this episode to Nick Starfield. Hopefully you all have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.